Hey everybody, quick audio warning. This was recorded and everything, but I had to boost the audio just so you're aware.
We're back. So, Magos and I were really excited about the Warhammer Skull showcase. Didn't have a chance to really look at it just yet. I kind of saw some cool things and I wanted to get a reaction going for this whole thing, and I wanted Magos to be able to help me with this one because we both love these games so much. And he actually has played more of them than I have. So I really wanted to get his reaction to some of them as well. So we're going to kind of just look at them and go from there. Ben or Magos.
I haven't played all of them, but
played a number of, I think we've probably between us, we played a lot of them. If not all of them.
Yeah, I think so too. You're the one that played more Tacticus, I believe.
Yeah, yep. I'm going to turn this way down. Drop that volume a little bit.
The Imperium is torn asunder.
What do you know, Ben, about the Dark Heresy thing?
Besieged on all fronts.
Dark Heresy was initially, I believe, a Warhammer pen and paper RPG.
A pen and paper RPG? Okay.
Yeah. And that will be the next setting. And in Dark Heresy, you usually play a small group of Inquisition agents. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that this will be the setting for Dark Heresy.
Okay.
The Inquisitor is probably the guy in the heavy armor that we see in the trailer.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know like anything about this. This looks very much to me almost like Rogue Trader, except for like a little bit more pulled in as far as like the camera, like the view of it.
It will probably play exactly the same because that's the kind of game that Owlcat largely makes.
Oh my god. Is that was who I thought it was, right?
Yeah. That was a Night Lord.
Okay.
Not the kind of enemy you want to have, but hey.
No, that's definitely not, but I'm excited about that.
Oh yes.
Sorry, I'm just letting the visuals happen. I don't want to get copyright struck or anything. 'Cause, Games Workshop's been on a little tear lately, from what I understand.
Yet again, yes.
So as fun as that would be, so that was pretty cool. They didn't really have a whole lot of gameplay in that. I'm interested to see how that pans out. Specifically with the gameplay, it very much looks like that. I still have to get back into Rogue Trader. After it crashed on me, I kind of was like, all right, well, I'll come back to it, and then I never made it back.
Yeah. I hope, what I personally hope is that we'll get a kind of a more refined version of Rogue Trader. Because I personally, the game was really good, but I thought that the skill system was a bit chaotic, in my humble opinion.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of reading. I remember that. Because like right after I made it through the voice acting part of it, it turned into pretty much a book, a visual like novel almost, or what is that? What we would call that? I forget the actual term of that is, but it was. I liked. There's some things that I wasn't prepared for. I'm gonna pause this real quick. When I started playing that, I wasn't prepared for, and I know you tried to prepare me for some of it. And this is not like a fault of anybody's. It's just I was not ready fully for how in depth like the actual building was of it, like your character, and then the way it actually played. And I think that was, I gotta get back into that game. It looks so cool, and I love like the aesthetic of it was so cool. And I just got this the Who was that? I can't remember her name. The Sister of Battle. I can't remember her name though. She just joined the group
I
right
know
when
the
it
character,
crashed.
but- yeah, I can't remember too. What the game did really well was it. Even if you didn't really know much about Warhammer, it did a really great job explaining all the stuff you see.
Right. Right. I mean, it was really cool. And there was a space wolf in there too. I wanted to get him
Yeah,
as
you
a
can find-
character.
Yeah, that's a character you'll find later on, but yes, he was there too. But yeah, like I said, I would like to see a bit more of a refined skill system because I personally found that it was a bit. I don't know how to explain it. I think when you compare it to other games of the kind like Baldur's Gate, for example, I think that what you can do there is a bit more straightforward than it
Okay.
was in Rogue Trader. At least I think so. So
Okay.
I would like to see a change there, in my opinion. But yeah,
There's like
let's see
a
what they
more
will do.
in depth skills, like you can customize certain aspects of like how the skills actually work in tandem or
The thing is that you had a depending on how you skilled your character, you had a lot of skills that could work in tandem, but it was how to explain it. I think it was a amount that made it a bit much.
a bit much.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Maybe
So-
I'm just not good at these games and I get confused fast. That could also be a possibility, but yeah, that
Yeah.
was at least my impression.
You know, I got confused and then my game crashed and like that's how I gave up. Well, not gave up, but just decided to come back to it at a later date. So,
Yeah.
this is the game. I did play this and I should probably pick it back up because it was fun. It is fun for like a little mobile game. Tacticus. It's been going on for a while. What
Yeah,
can
like
I
2.5 years or something like that.
Yeah,
Three, maybe?
yeah, it's been going on for a while and it is fun. It's a good little time waste when you're in the middle of something like in the middle of like waiting for something. It's fun. I'd even just do it just when I was, just hanging out on the couch. It's a good time. There's like you can fight Magnus the Red, you can fight Mortarion, and you actually go through like a Black Crusade at one point. Maybe it's,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
The Cadians were in there, and the level up, like the position that you have to take into it. You fight like story missions, and they're like the Cadian shock troopers, and you're trying to like stop the Black Crusade from happening. And you could be the Cadians, or you can be the Black Legion.
Yeah.
It's actually it's fun for a little mobile game. And it is actually a little harder than you would think it would be.
And
It-
also one of the better rated ones when I if I saw that correctly.
Yeah. It is a little grindy. I can say that. It is very grindy, or you can pay to play. And I am excited that the Custodies are going to be in it.
I'm
'Cause-
curious how they will do that because like I don't know if you play again. I think you have like 5 characters on the board usually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think I'm curious how many of the custodians you will have at once because I don't know if you have like 5 Space Marines. In order to make it even, you should have like I don't know a custodian's left arm or something like that.
Right. I don't know how they're going to implement that, but yeah. That was interesting. So Mechanicus, ooh. So you know more.
It's great.
The only thing I know about this is that quote at the with when I realized the weakness of my flesh. That quote.
It disgusted me.
Yeah, that was so epic. I listen to that sometimes. I'll think about it and I'll be like, oh, I got to hear that again.
I I am really looking forward to this game because the first one was really good. If you like XCOM games, like I said, even if you didn't play them yet, but in general, if you like these kind of games, Mechanicus is right upon everyone's alley who likes games like that.
Very
That
tactical.
and yeah, the soundtrack is amazing of the game. It's really, really good.
It looks pretty cool. I can say that. It looks pretty cool. And I did.
And what they also, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I did watch a couple of little minor gameplays of the first one because I was looking at maybe buying that one.
Mhm.
I might have to pick it up if it's on sale, just so I can get ready for this
Definitely
one.
a recommendation. Yep. Also, what they did really good is how the tech priests speak in the game, because they talk in binary the whole time. You have to adjust this kind of. They talk like an old school modem a little bit.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, is
And
there?
here's the part that I am looking forward, the Leagues of Wotan.
Yeah, I was going to say the kin are in there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pause that real quick. I want to go back a little bit more. Come on. That's cool.
I just like, because it's fitting in the lore that the second faction that will bother the Necrons are the kin, because that's lore accurate.
They're
Because
gonna.
all the
Well, of course, they're not
mining,
gonna like each other, but yeah.
Definitely not. It's lore accurate because the kin face the Necrons relatively often because of their mining.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that would make sense, right? Because they're always looking for resources, and the Necrons are on dead planets or whatever, just hibernating. Yeah, it makes sense. That's
Yeah, and the Necrons are one of the few species that can survive in the galactic core, which is the home of the kin. So
that's awesome. He even looks like he's straight, like if they took a 3D render of the model.
yeah,
This character, for sure. I mean, down
looks
to
like-
he almost looks like he has a mold line on the gun. Just from this image.
And they look exactly like the Hearthkid warriors
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Speaking of the Botan, I gotta still paint those. I gotta get back on those figures. My buddy's asking me for those. Oh,
They look good so far.
Yeah, I've been slacking on them, and I appreciate you. Thank you. The coming from you, that's a big compliment.
You're welcome. You're definitely getting better on the details of the minis. I can tell that much.
It's a process for sure, getting better. Just more and more practice.
Definitely.
Oh, I got like a bunch more Tyranids in the mail too.
Perfect. From the Hachette
Yep.
magazine.
Yep. All right.
It's pronounced in English.
Yep. The hatchet is what, yeah.
Hatchet. Okay.
Now this one, I don't know. And what do you know about the Supremacy?
Absolutely nothing. The only thing I know is that the Supremacy games apparently are. It's a mobile game.
Oh,
It's
right.
It's like a how do we describe it? It's a strategy game, but not like Total War, for example, but more like like this, where you see the maps and make choices where the troops move and stuff like that.
Now I wonder.
At least
So
it looked like that on their homepage.
this reminds me of like Dawn of War, right? I think it was 2 where you were like trying to take over a planet. Is that that was right? So that's my thinking on it. I think I'm correct. Maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Really like Dawn of War, but more like how to explain it. I think you primarily move troops on a large scale map.
Yeah. What I'm kind of talking. Remember when you're first getting. It's like the very beginning of Dawn of War when you get the map, right? It's not like when you first like actual play it, but where you get to choose where your armies go to. But I don't know if you actually get to play, how your armies are fighting like Dawn of War. I don't think that's how it works, but like your map choice.
Yeah, exactly. I also don't think that we will see that because, well, it's a mobile game.
Yeah.
I don't think that they can realistically emulate this.
No. I wonder. I'm curious to see how this is going to work because it sounds like you get to face the rest of the world with this big map or something and take over territories. How does this all function? There's no way you're going to be able to real time fight somebody. You'd have to make like decisions like just generally. It's an interesting thought.
We could download one of the old Supremacy games and have a look at them. I think we probably would get a good idea of how it will work. But I haven't played them yet, so I have no idea.
That is interesting.
I took a look on their homepage. They have made a couple of these before. I think 2 or 3.
Oh.
But so far I haven't played them, so no idea.
Supremacy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this. I am excited for the war, for the orcs, as always, because who doesn't love the orcs?
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we have the Dark Tide. I still need to purchase this game.
Yes. Oh yes, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Now this was the Arbites, right?
Exactly.
Oh, God, this game, every time I watch somebody play it, it looks so good. It looks like so much fun.
It's really good. They added a lot of stuff since the release.
Wow, that's so cool. I love the trailer, the cinematic they put out for it. Just wish we could play it with sound and I wouldn't get in trouble.
I don't know. Usually trailers aren't really a problem. I think, at least.
Yeah. Sometimes they're a little.
Might be a gamble, who knows?
Yeah. I just got a little. Ooh, that was something. There you go. Oh, so cool.
And he has his cyber mastiff.
Yes. What is that about? I don't know. I don't think I've ever gone into these guys' lore parts yet.
The RBTs are. It's not a coincidence that they look like Judge Dredd because that's basically what they are. They are a kind of elite police force. Not in the sense that there aren't that many of them, but a RBTs is like a kind of a high-ranking judge and executioner of the Lex Imperialis. They often work alone, at least until they have a big task where they have to need to work together.
So kind of like the Inquisitors a little bit, right? But maybe not with as not as much power.
Exactly. It's only they are limited to how to put it. In the Imperium, you have this one big how to describe it. This one big law book, more like, which is so big that nobody completely knows what's inside it, because it constantly gets additions.
Huh.
all the time. And that is the Lex Imperialis. They won their one codex of law that the Imperium has, which can vary from segmentum to segmentum, or even sector to sector. And they are basically there to persecute anybody who acts against the Lex Imperialis. But when these guys come in, it's usually something bigger.
It's usually something bigger. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that how much different stuff they pull in from different IPs or whatever, like they take their take on, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when you compare them to Judge Dredd, that is a pretty good comparison to make, because that's more or less what they are.
Right.
And some of them, you also do have them on the tabletop, are their cyber canines.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Dogs.
They look pretty cool. And they're just basically just not normal dogs, but augmented dogs to help hunt down criminals or whatever.
Yeah, it's more or less a servitor dog.
Okay.
That got enhanced a lot.
Hopefully there isn't a human mind in it.
No, I don't think so.
Like everything else, putting a human
I wouldn't be surprised, but
that's the one thing are kind of, because a lot of these are on like Game Pass and stuff like that. That's kind of be cool to get my Xbox up and running, just so I didn't have to buy it. But I like the PC so much more.
But let me know if you should buy Dark Tides, then we could play a couple of rounds.
Oh, you bet I probably will. Now this Magos, we're gonna have some fun.
Oh yes, the hard mode. What people are looking for since the release of the game.
Now I heard a rumor about a Tech Marine. And then this. Is that what you heard too, is a Tech Marine is coming?
I heard that people were wishing for that, but I didn't hear rumors that something like that will come actually.
Because that would be pretty cool.
It would be cool, but I personally don't think so, because, well, they always gave us a pretty good idea of what will be coming to the game, because they always share their roadmap.
Right.
And since there wasn't a class on that, I personally don't think that one will come. Well,
what would you even have the Tech Marine do, really?
That is exactly the thing. I mean, a Tech Marine would be cool, and when you want to make it lore accurate, he could probably bring a bit more specialized war gear and servitors to the battle. But apart from that, well, a Tech Marine is exactly that. He primarily cares for machinery and the technology of the order.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not something. Tech Marines aren't really frontline troops usually. I mean, they can be, but usually if you do that, they have specific. There's normally a specific reason when you deploy them in the front lines.
Yeah.
Really, Tech Marines just don't usually just go into battle accompanying your run-of-the-mill troops.
Right.
It's not something they do usually.
Right. See, I think it would make more sense to have a Terminator or even an apothecary, even though you wouldn't really send an apothecary in front line either. But at least you could heal.
Apothecaries would make more sense, because usually you do have them on the battlefield all the time, and they are at least near troops, which isn't necessarily the case for Tech Marines. But Tech Marines, I don't see that.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think I was watching a stream and somebody said that they heard that there was a data mine that had a Tech Marine, and maybe it was just a skin, but like a class for a Tech Marine wouldn't make any sense to me. So
Yeah, I don't really see what the Tech Marine could really add as an own class.
did they add any other additional I guess skins or anything besides what we saw last time with the Space Wolves and the was it
No,
the Iron
I
Hands?
think the last
Was it the Iron
the
Hands?
last thing that
Sorry, go ahead.
we saw the Imperial Fist skin.
Yep.
We saw the Space Wolves. I think that was the last one, and some armor parts for the Raven Guard. That was also there.
Yeah.
But well, the good thing is that with the last update, they pretty much opened up the whole game for modding. So we will probably see senior classes at some point.
Yeah.
In the modding community. Yeah, is also already this. I don't know if you know the mod. I think it's called a Starters mod or something like that. Which already adds all kinds of things to the game, like new weapons, Terminator armor, and bigger groups of people you can play with.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that and some other interesting things, because the with the mod the battlefields get a bit more varied, because you can potentially encounter groups of Cadians that are fighting on the map. Other things like the Hive Tyrant, for example, is a regular boss that can appear anywhere.
No way. That's cool.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
So
the mod is quite insane.
Where do I get this mod?
I can send you a link after the stream.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna have to download that. That sounds awesome. So yes,
yeah.
I'm ready for this.
The only downside at the moment with the mod is that I think you can't progress your weapons when you have it installed.
Oh, okay. Well, I better finish off some of my stuff before I do that.
But I think apart from that, yeah, you can do pretty much everything.
Yeah. So when I heard about this, I kind of figured it was coming. I about lost it. I was driving, and then I've had to pull over because I heard that this was happening, and I got really excited.
Understandably so.
This is my original being brought into this, and I will happily pay for this. Even though I own all of the old Relic games, I will buy this again. I do not even care. It looks so much cool, so much better. And then updated and
definitely.
In actual like bigger graphics, because when you try to play this on like a normal monitor now, it looks like terrible.
Yeah.
And I tried to stream it or even just play it, and it looks horrible. So I am ready for this. And that's one thing I can say. I'm going to pause this real quick. So I can say this about GW and how they're handling their old games with their definitive editions. I actually really like that they're making it so their games can be played like for as long as they can possibly be played. I guess that's the one thing that I'm, even though they're kind of like jerks, right, to content creators and you know, everybody else, even their customers, it doesn't seem like they care that much. They really care about their properties, which you can't really say that for everything, right? These guys want their games to be able to be played forever. So when you make a definitive edition that can be played for you know, however many years. That I don't even remember when this game first came out. It's been forever ago. Like, and you're updating it so that a modern audience now can play it. Like, and Space Marine, the original, like a definitive edition of that, that's so cool to me. You're saving your history of your games. It's amazing.
Yeah, it makes sense from a financial standpoint because, well, Dawn of War is a much beloved game. And well, that's a game that started it all, so it's almost guaranteed that this will sell well.
Yeah, and every time you look at like the Steam page, like the original one, there are still people playing it. They've modded it so that it plays at I could never get the mods to work for me, but I'm not computer savvy like that. To make it so that, you know, it's functional for like my PC or whatever. But you know, them doing this shows that at least they care. They care enough about their properties to update them, and that makes me so happy. It's unreal. And there's so many people that still play that old game. I would play it if it was functional even before this, you know. I still like playing it.
Yeah, I will probably get it too because similar to you, it was one of the first contacts I had with Warhammer as a property. Really?
Yeah.
As an IP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was released. When was Dawn of War released? I think I still went to school back then.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So I think Dawn of War 2 is when I officially started. But my buddy let me play Dawn of War because I didn't have a PC at that point. So he let me play Dawn of War 1 on his computer when I'd come over. And then Dawn of War 2 came out about that time. And that's when the Horus Heresy started. Those books started coming out. And I know I was out of high school at that point. Because I'm an old man.
Me too. I found it. Dawn of War was released on the 20th September 2004.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
So almost 21 years ago.
Damn. Yep, we're old.
Yep.
Oh. But yeah, when I heard about this, I lost it. I was happy for the rest of the day. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah.
Now, my other question is, did they say in the definitive edition if we're getting all of the was it like there were add-ons or whatever? Because it looks like it.
DLC. It looks like it, yeah. I think I personally think so. The definitive edition will include everything because well, it's usually the way how you do it with these kinds of definitive editions.
Yeah, for those younger people out there, it wasn't DLC back then.
Yeah,
you had to buy a physical copy of like Dark Crusade, I think it was called, and then
yes,
something else for the Sisters of Battle, and then Winter Storm or something for the what was it, the Imperium of Man. You had to buy like 4 or 5 different discs to get all the armies. Because they just release add-ons to it. That's essentially what it was. And then you had to install them.
Yeah, the DLC only came later.
Yeah. Now it's all DLC. That started with like Skyrim or something. Not Skyrim, Oblivion? One of the two. I can't remember.
Oblivion, the horse armor.
Yeah, the horse armor. That damn horse armor set everything off.
Yeah. We entered the wrong timeline back then.
And then it split off again this year with Nintendo and their nonsense.
Yeah.
But this was amazing. This Made my whole day. I already wish listed it. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just so cool. Oh, this trailer brings me back too. I'm getting nostalgic.
I'm pretty sure that this was the first kind of digital version of a Space Marine we ever saw in the trailer.
You know?
At least I think so.
Did StarCraft come out first?
Game-wise, that's a good question. Was there a Warhammer game before StarCraft 1? I'm not sure. There's this old Ultramarine movie that could possibly be older than Dawn of War, but I'm not sure about that.
Because didn't we have this conversation before where you were schooling me on if what was it? StarCraft was supposed to be a Dawn of War game, but then GW didn't like it for whatever reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And then they went a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the StarCraft factions, you'll see what they were supposed to be.
Yeah, definitely. And then here's the other one that's so beloved in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
God, this game was so much fun too. I miss the orcs. They were a lot of fun to shoot, although their sounds, like, they kind of got repetitive, their voice lines. But a lot of the games back then kind of did too. Because you could only put so many different voice lines into those games like that.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a remake that just makes sense after the success of Space Marine 2.
Oh, yeah.
They will sell that a ton.
And they had the corn demons.
Blood letters. I hated them.
You know, I like those better than the flying disc guys. I always forget what their names are too.
The Zangor and
The
Lightning.
Zangor. Yes.
Yep.
In Space Marine, they were rocking me for a minute in Space Marine 2.
Yeah, they can be annoying.
Now, we get RBDs in Rogue Trader 2.
Yes. Also a really nice addition. I think the first edition we got was the Death Cult Assassin.
Wow.
I really like that you get the storm shields. I don't think that you had them before.
I really need to play this game. Just how intricate all the settings. I mean, just when you're sitting here just looking at it and you just pause this video for a second, and it's like the amount of detail on everything is unreal.
They did a really good job with that.
And that dog looks fantastic. And I think, oh no, we still have more. There's still more. I forgot about this. Did you play Bolt Gun?
A bit, but not much. Like a couple of hours, but I didn't finish it.
What did you think of it?
Well, if you like the old Doom games, that was perfect.
I do love them.
Yeah, then that would be a game for you, definitely.
Words of Vengeance. I like that they brought up the voice actor too.
Yeah, yes.
And then yes, the actual Bullet Gun 2 trailer or release trailer or whatever. There we go. That's so cool. Boomer shooters, is that what they're calling them? Something like that.
I think this is a modern term for these games.
There's nothing makes you feel old than being called a boomer and having your favorite games turned into a meme.
True.
So then,
Nowadays you're getting called old when you're older than 30. So
yeah, we love that. Or when you go to the doctor and says, "Oh yeah, your arm," just because it does that, you know, just don't do that anymore because it's not going to change that anymore. You're not going to get better anymore. Great.
Great.
It just does that. So should we talk about this heresy thing too?
Have you looked at the new Horus Heresy trailer yet?
This I have not. Let's do it. We're gonna actually play it with sound.
Yes, definitely.
This will be like a off the wall video.
I was there when he painted this. An oddity among his schematics and calculations.
Whoa, okay.
Yet, this seemed to help him. A way he could express the enormity of his plan.
Sister of Silence and Custodes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Valdor?
What if the legions are successful?
Yes.
It depends on how deep the rot goes.
So cool. Did he have a demon skull on his armor?
I don't think it was a demon skull, but the skull of some great beast he killed.
Something. Salamanders.
And Iron Warrior.
Whoa. It was a trap. Whoa. What the hell is that?
That are Saturnine Terminators.
Dreadnought. A Hellkite pistol.
The attack failed.
How many?
Half of the legions now stand with Horus.
You're surprised?
Is that Malkador?
In the end, I suppose not.
Indeed.
Do you wonder if they might be right? Many will sympathize with their rebellion.
I am the Emperor's spear. What I think doesn't matter.
What now, then?
We make ready for a war that may never end.
Oh my.
It's a really great trailer.
That was awesome.
The things that you saw that were Saturnine Terminators, that's pretty much MK1 Terminator armor that was phased out later on for the normal Terminator armor. Because this armor was deemed just too bulky and too heavy for normal operations.
Whoa. That was cool. I don't even know, like, you guys can't see my face, but that was so cool.
Also, the models for the Saturnine Terminators are amazing. I think I think about getting some for 40k for my Emperor's Children as relic armors, pretty much.
Hell yeah. So Ben,
Even though they probably aren't around anymore, but well,
that's so okay. So I'm confused. You're gonna have to explain something to me. The Horus Heresy, like it's done, right?
yes.
We're done with it, but they're still coming up with figures and like I guess they're still I guess it's a game mode, right? Essentially for 40k. It's not really 40k, but it's a game mode that they make. I guess I don't.
It's an independent system with its own sort of rules.
Like Kill Team, essentially.
Yes, but like Kill Team, but it kind of goes in the opposite directions because the fights or the battles you have there are larger than 40k.
They're larger.
Yes, indeed. I think the the normal amount of points you play in 40k, at least at tournaments, are 2,000 points. And I think at least for 30k it's 3,000 points. And when you play that, you have more models on the table than you would have in 40k because what the game does good is it conveys the feeling that you indeed are fielding a legion.
Wow.
And the model range is quite large because you have all the old Space Marine tanks that aren't around in modern 40k anymore.
Right.
Because the technology to build them just was lost, and the tanks that existed were lost in the Horus already.
Wow. So technically, I guess I'm trying to wrap. So this is its own game mode, and these are like more narrative story battles and more like big army battles. Are the models smaller?
The scale is the same as 40k. But yes, the models are smaller because, of course, the old Space Marines are the firstborn Space Marines, which by nature are smaller than Primaris, of course. But the scale is the same, pretty much.
Huh. This is interesting to me. I don't know anything about this.
After the trailer, I thought, like, maybe starting a 30k army would also be nice.
Yeah.
But you have to paint even more minis than for 40k, so I'm not sure yet.
No, that's a lot. Just trying to come up with an idea for just a regular 40k army. It's like, how many models do you need for that?
Yeah.
I've almost been to the point where maybe I should just buy as much as not as much as I can, because that would be outrageous, but like having the ability to swap in and out. Like, maybe I don't want to bring a librarian. I'll bring in something else and I'll just have it on the shelf ready to go. Or whatever.
That's something that I do with most armies, at least the one that have a bit of a larger range, like Space Marines, where you can do that.
Yeah.
Of course, it's another thing when you play, for example, Custodies like me, where when you play 2,000 points, you have 20 models or something like that. 30 maybe.
It's outrageous. Wow. So, Ben, thoughts on the Skulls 2025?
What can I say? In general, I like the direction that the 40k video games are going in, because I think we've seen a shift over the last years regarding the quality of 40k video games, because when I compare it to what we got like 10 years ago, you had a couple of good ones like Dawn of War and Space Marine 1.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, many older 40k games we got were so-so. But you definitely, you can feel that Warhammer is getting more and more mainstream, which isn't necessarily something good in my humble opinion. But it is good when you see the direction that the video games are going for the franchise, as the franchise is getting a bigger reputation and just moves in this AAA directions when you look at the video games.
I agree. People have called me names like a noob or what is it? There was somebody else had called me, said I'm God, I can't even remember what the hell they called it. It was some shit like I'm not, I don't really care or something about this. Like when you're really into this whole thing, it becomes an obsession. So, and it's not really like an obsession, but like you're really a fan when you're reading the books, when you're breaking it down, when you're really playing the games. Like what I'm trying to get at is it becoming mainstream. It has its downfalls and its positive things. Bringing more passionate people to Warhammer is a good thing, but with it comes like the toxic crap that every other big franchise gets, and there's always a downfall, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with franchises going mainstream, and there are dozens of examples now where you can look at, like Magic, like D&D, where these things happen too. When people come in that are new to setting and are trying to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this is still it's an issue with every franchise, and it's still a potential threat for Warhammer, in my opinion.
Right. Like I don't ever want to wake up and be like, "Oh, there's a new Warhammer model and it's SpongeBob."
Yeah,
like they did
exactly.
with Magic cards. Cuz that's going to be a bummer. But at the same time it's like, you could see that probably won't ever happen, knock on wood, because GW for all the crap that they do that's not good, they do really hold their franchise in a very high regard, which that's one thing you can always be sure about, is they're going to take care of the thing that that keeps them going, is the franchise. So
Yeah,
that's I have hopes that they're going to keep it strong.
yeah, definitely. Luckily, in the past, when they did certain changes to 40k, especially to Lenore, which people disagreed with, I could bring one or two examples, but I won't do that now. They got a lot of flack for these changes, and I hope that they learn from that and just stop changing lore for the worse.
Yeah, I know that they're really, was it their loose rule of, the Imperium, none of the, it's all word of mouth, written by like it's by humans, and it's not a hard and fast rules because it's all secondhand nature, or secondhand, information or whatever. Certain things you shouldn't change, especially if we love them so much, just leave it alone.
Exactly, and the thing is, that is what you just described. Of course, it is true in the Imperium for many things, but what doesn't change and what doesn't depend on this kind of in-universe propaganda or sparse information are just pillars of the universe itself, of which we know that they are true, like that the Emperor sits on the Golden Throne, or that all Space Marines are exclusively male and stuff like that. These are in-universe facts that got stated again and again, of which we know that they are in fact correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah,
these are just things that they shouldn't change.
yeah. I'm all for, having female soldiers. Just don't make them Space Marines, because you can't. It says in the lore, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. At least, what people always should keep in mind when it comes to Warhammer, because this whole representation thing always gets plays a role sometimes when people get riled up again. But when you look at it, there were, until they changed it for the Custodes, we had like 2 armies that were exclusively male. Every other army had both genders, if genders exist in that species.
Mm-hmm.
So there is absolutely no reason to say that Warhammer isn't inclusive, because that's simply not true.
Yeah. And even like the Custodes, they had the Sisters of Silence right there.
Yep.
They're always with them. So it's like, they're there. I mean, one of the most badass armies is the Sisters of Battle. And they have males behind them, and they're usually not even wearing anything, any armor or anything. And given like a whip or something, right? That's all the things that I see them running around in.
Yeah, the only males you will find in the Sister of Battle's army are, I don't know, maybe a preacher and some servitors, and that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, that we'll stop there, because you and I could probably talk for hours about this.
yeah, exactly. That's a whole other topic.
But my thoughts on this is like, they're doing an amazing job. I hope they keep it up. I'm stoked about all of this. I would love to see more titles like a Space Marine and a Dawn of War, because those are my jams. But that doesn't mean that these other games, Mechanicus and the Dark Tides, I gotta get into these games. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna love them. But yeah, I almost like, and even what was this other one here? Bolt Gun. I mean, there's so many games that are different genres that I could play that I know I would just enjoy the hell out of. And I'm loving the direction that they're taking everything.
Yes, the direction at the moment for the games is really good.
And I when I heard this was coming, I was really excited. I did not expect to see. I really was not expecting to see the Space Marine Mastercrafted Edition or the Dawn of War Definitive Edition, but I am so happy they're here.
People were hoping for Dawn of War 4, but a remake of the first one is also really good.
Yes. That would, as far as I know, Relic doesn't even exist anymore. That's the company that made those. So that might be a little difficult, but I'm sure there's other companies that could make that. And maybe there's always next year. If this thing does stellar, like I think it's gonna, I mean, there's no reason for them not to do another one, as long as it's not like the one everybody hated that I never got to play. So
I think it will depend on how the market will do in the future with these kind of games, because they aren't really on the top at the moment.
Yeah.
In popular, when you look at the popularity, but
Yeah.
I think that the demand is there.
Right. Did you ever play Dawn of War 3? Did we talk about this already? I feel like we did.
We a bit. Well, I played the hell out of the first 2 games.
Yeah, I still don't understand why everybody hated 3. Because it was different,
Well,
I think.
3 was missing a lot of the gameplay elements that made the first 2 games were good.
Like, you couldn't build a base or anything, right? It was...
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there were just some... I was the first time I got skeptical about the game was when I saw an animation of a Terminator captain doing backflips over a large earthquake.
Huh.
But I thought, yeah, well, Terminators aren't doing that. That's
No. No, they're not going to be able to do that.
definitely not. No.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. This was amazing. Magos, I'm glad you could join me on this whole thing. I loved having you. Skulls, I'm so happy that we got to see this.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, and we'll catch you in the next one, everybody. Thank you.